I want to talk to both of you, both General Dunford and the Secretary, on about a bill that I introduced last year with Senator Gillibrand from New York called the Military Family Stability Act. I think it's very much in line with the initiative that you're making, the Force of the Future initiative, where people could even stay at an assignment longer if that was something that worked better for education or spouse's professional career. What we were proposing, Secretary and General, what we were proposing and are proposing is that there'd be another option, which would be that the family could either stay a little longer or could move a little earlier. We'd like some help that I think we're not getting from the department to talk about how we could make this work in a way that would minimize the cost but still maximize the opportunity. And General, I know that in your great career you have to have seen a number of times when families were needlessly frustrated because the school year was a month before it started or a month after it was over, or we had a media opportunity on this and had several spouses come in, one being transferred from Florida to, or from Hawaii rather, to Fort Leonard Wood. So she got a teaching contract at the University of Missouri Science and Technology. She got in a PhD program at St. Louis University, but then the move didn't occur in June, and then the move didn't occur in July, and she went ahead and had to move. Her husband would have been more than willing to go to available quarters on the base and let her move become the move for the family, and that just wasn't allowed. I would think in what you're trying to do to keep these highly trained people in the military, a greater level of flexibility. So what I want you to respond to that, but also what I want you to do is help us figure out if it keeps costs down to limit this to 2 times in a career or 60 days instead of 6 months. We proposed up to 6 months, thinking seldom would a family use this, seldom would they use it for 6 months. But when we talk to people in your office, it's, well, we want to multiply this by 6 months for every family that ever possibly moves and assume they'll all take advantage of it. It's just not reasonable, and I think it's what you're trying to do, but we could use more flexibility when someone needs to move, wants to move, but just a month or 2 would make a big difference for their family. So if you just both respond to that, that's my question.
I'll start off, and then General Dunford and I have talked about this. First, let me thank you and Senator Gillibrand for identifying this issue. I couldn't agree with you more. We are a married force. More than 70% of our officers are married. More than half of our enlisted are married. And so we try to do everything we can consistent with the profession of arms and readiness and cost to make their military service and their family life compatible. That's why we extended maternity leave and paternity leave, but only as much as we could, consistent with cost and readiness, and have taken other steps. So I appreciate that, and to your question, would look forward to working with you on that. I think, as I understand the proposal, as we worked on the proposal, cost is, I understand the intent, agree with the intent. Managing the cost is the issue, so we're happy to work with you to that end. And with that, let me see what the chairman would like to add.
Senator, I am aware of the challenge that you outlined, and like Secretary Carter, I very much appreciate your focus on military families. And I think without hyperbole, we could say we would never have the quality all-volunteer force we have today. We would never be able to have done what we've done over the past 14 years in particular, were we not to have strong families supporting our men and women in uniform. I've also looked at it, and one, I'll commit to working with you and your staff to try to make whatever adjustments are necessary to move that through. And I have, over my career, seen countless individuals who have had to make those difficult choices. If my wife were here, I'd tell you exactly how many moves we've made, but I think it's somewhere in the order of 20, and it's actually 8 in the last 7 years. Now, our children are all grown, so it's a little easier these days. But I have made the choice on a couple of occasions to precede my family for exactly the reason you outlined, so that they could finish the school year and then join me at my next duty station. So conceptually, fully support what we're trying to do here. And again, appreciate your focus on that. And I think that what we want to do is balance the money. What I would say is this, that if we had another dollar to spend on families, this might not be priority one, but it'd be a priority. In other words, there's a number of things our families have come to us, and that's a big piece of what I think we want to talk about as well, is if we had another dollar to spend on families, where would we spend it? And we've spent a lot of time soliciting their input, and would like to make that part of the dialogue as well.
Thank you both.